We're live.
Cool.
Give everybody a couple minutes to jump in here.
When I go over to the comment section, I don't see where I can type in a chat. But if I go to the private chat, I can type something. So I guess I got to go back and forth, maybe.
No, I don't think you're able to type in the chat from someone else's. Like when you're in someone else's stream. I know I can't do that. I always go in through my phone.
Ah, got
you. Got Chad in the house. BFL champion Chad in the house. Got Kyle saying he'll jump in just a second. No problem. Just some lighting here.
Catch up on Chad's video, man. Looks like he caught a nice little sack not too long ago.
Yeah, seriously. Like today.
Today, Wednesday. It's interesting. Or maybe it's his fishing trip from Monday.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think it'd be today. I feel like he normally works on Wednesday.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, wow. He went out today.
So I thought. Man, Chad has had the experience of a BFL angler. He's had the win and then a 0 back to back. That is like exactly how it goes, man. A weightless fluke. That's good stuff right there, dude. I love a fluke.
So do you, I wonder if Chad hit like some kind of weather app or a fishing app, and like, man, the fishing is going to be good today, and that's why he went out and caught out sick.
Or maybe he just knows what's up. Getting a little bit of feedback from you. How's your volume?
I wonder if it's about that. I turned down the volume just a little bit.
Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Great. Sun comes in from PA tomorrow. Y'all gonna do some fishing this weekend, Bible Belt? I would hope so.
He was doing some scouting.
There you go. Might as well just go catch a quick 20. Whatever.
Dang, no fishing this weekend on Monday.
Oh, okay. Whatever works. Hey, if you guys are in the stream, just give us a shout. Let us know you're here so we can respond and see who all is here. We got, looks like 4 people joining in. We're going to give everyone a little bit longer to jump in before we get into this thing. But happy you guys are here, and thanks for joining.
Dude, I'm happy finally chatting with you, man. I feel like it's been a minute.
I know, dude. So busy. The past month has been just insane for me. I don't know about for you, but it's just been wild.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, but I'm also glad we're back. It's good to be live again. Good to be chatting. We'll get into a bunch of stuff tonight, but I think we're going to cut it at an hour, so we'll see how that goes.
We all know how fast an hour goes by.
Faster than one would think. When the chat's in there, it's fun.
It's kind of like fishing in a tournament. I bet you the hour goes by pretty quick in a fishing tournament, right?
Well, it depends to me. Like, if I have my limit, then that hour like creeps by. Like, it takes forever for that time. If I've got a good bag, it takes forever for that day to go by. But if I haven't caught them, it just flies by, dude. It's like I don't have enough time to do anything. Oh, we'll give it just a little bit longer, see if anybody else wants to join on. We've had some people come in and out, so
I don't know how it is at work for you when you have to get on conference calls, but when you get on a conference call, they start at 10 o'clock, waiting for folks to join. It's like the longest 2 to 3 minutes ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a little small talk with people you don't really know. At least I know you, right? I've been on your boat several times, so good old. So what are you doing this weekend? You got fishing plans?
Not yet. Hadn't had a chance. I'm surprised Mike hadn't hit me up yet about fishing this weekend. I know we're going to try to watch a little bit of golf on Saturday and spend some time with the wives and whatnot. But think we can still fish early on Saturday morning and fish on Sunday. I know got Easter Sunday.
Yeah. Cool. That'll be good. Backdraft will be here in just a little bit. No problem, man. There are more important things than casting loose live, that's for sure. But we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm happy you guys are here. Thanks for joining on. Welcome back to. I'm kind of calling this casting loose live. It's really just what we like to do every week. Just talk through what's been going on in the fishing world for us. And it's been about a month since we did the last one, just because it's been so busy. We got Mike here. What's up, man? But Johnny, why don't we start with you, man? Fill us in on what you've been up to, what's been going on. I know that we've got our little group text. We talk fairly often, but fill everybody in.
No, man, I got to visit my first real big fishing tournament a few weeks back and got to go up to Knoxville and then got to see the Classic live and in person. And that was really neat. It's pretty cool to be around that many people that enjoy the same thing that you do. And then just to see all the different like YouTubers and professional fishing, all these guys that you follow along and you watch their videos all the time, to see them live and in person was really neat. And the guys did really good job with the expo and lots of great vendors out there. So it was a really neat experience. If you've never been to a Bassmaster Classic, I highly recommend. Alex, I think the next one's in Oklahoma or something like that.
Yeah, Grand Lake, Oklahoma.
Yeah, but went out there with the guys for a few days, and it was a great experience.
That's awesome, man. So give me, everybody's talked about the expo on every podcast at this point. Give me your top three celebrities, not even celebrities, top three people that you got to see there. I don't care who it is. Top three.
Of course, I was geeking out over Matt Pengrak at BTL, and so I waited in line to talk to Matt and Uncle Frank. So that was cool. Brian Latimer, it was kind of cool to see him in person. Yeah. We're so used to seeing him in his fishing outfit and just kind of hanging out with his kids. And he was all dressed up and fancy, and he was a lot taller than I thought he would. Be. And so that was cool to chat with B-Lat. And then I guess my third one would be Bradley Hallman. I like his channel, and so I got an opportunity to talk to him a little bit in the Sunline Spro booth, and it was kind of cool just kind of chatting YouTube and fishing and whatnot.
That's awesome, man. So okay, that's your top three people. Top three things that you bought at the Classic, because I know you bought some stuff.
Man, actually, I bought a few things. I bought some more AFCO fishing gear. What's funny, like the AFCO stuff that I buy is from the same vendor. It's one of the guys on tour, Mike. I'm blanking his name now. But anyways, I bought a new summer bib, AFCO bib, and then bought some Japanese lure that I was planning on using in an upcoming fishing tournament. But conditions change. But it's kind of cool to see some of those new Japanese bait. I didn't want to buy something that I could always just buy on Tackle Warehouse or Academy.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. I had some stuff going on, so I couldn't be there, but you guys were sending pictures and videos and all sorts of fun stuff. So it was kind of cool to follow from a distance. All right, top three moments, and then we'll be done with Classic Talk.
Top three moments, I guess, being out at the Thompson station and, seeing the trucks drive up. And so that was neat, in the Classic where they had a little booth at the main expo where they kind of get the fishing report. That was pretty cool. And then did sit on a little seminar behind Bass Pro where talking about a drop shot. I forgot the guy that was teaching that seminar. Was really interesting just to see it live and see the bait in action and hear him talk about, when he uses the drop shot and his techniques and why and some of those things.
Sweet. Well, I just wanted to take a pause here and you was talking about Matt Pengrak earlier in BTL, and they've got a really cool fundraiser going on right now with the Dick Hiley Bass Classic with St. Jude. You know anything about that?
Yeah, I remember hearing a little bit about his show. That's he travels up somewhere north for that fishing tournament, right?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere on the Mississippi River, but Matt is doing a fundraiser. So the way it works is if you don't follow BTL, I'm sure this is a rerun for some people, but I bought my shirt this morning. They have T-shirts for fundraisers, so they're just trying to raise money for the St. Jude Bass Classic. All that money, all the proceeds go to St. Jude's to support cancer research for mostly kids. But it's a cool T-shirt. It says "Bass Fishing Saves Lives," and I ordered mine this morning. I'm really looking forward to it. Basically, the way it works with the tournament is the higher money they raise, the higher their boat number is, and the better draw they get. So if you guys don't know anything about that, go check out at Matt Pangrack on Instagram. Go support them. It's really one of the coolest ways that anglers can make a difference in the lives of kids, and in a more mainstream way. Because I feel like the fishing industry, we do good things for other people, but we can get a little self-centered sometimes and just focus on kind of in-industry stuff, which isn't a bad thing. But I saw this as a really cool opportunity to kind of reach outside of the fishing world and give back to something that's really cool.
No, that's great. I have to look into it. And before I forget, I see, I got my buddy Mark Gilbert on. I think that's what Mark Gilbert I'm thinking about. But Mark was actually with me before when I caught my PB like 2 winters ago, man, off a football jig. And so it was really exciting to see Mark on. He helped me net that. And then Mike's also on where I caught my 6.8. So it's pretty cool to have 2 of the guys that I caught my PBs on.
Yeah, man, that's part of what we need to talk about today is it's been a month. It's been a month of transition, but it's been real slow for me, at least, as far as the actual transition phase. The fishing has been really good, but the pre-spawn to spawn, I feel like, has been longer this year. You got any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they'd be a lot easier to catch right now. I don't know if that's what you're referencing. I thought they would have pushed up shallow, but with the weather fluctuating the way it is, maybe some of them are holding back, and maybe some of them are still staging, but not one to bite. But yeah, it's been a little disappointing going out there the last couple of times and not getting on, any good sized fish and numbers too. I just feel like everybody talks about how they push up and you're supposed to catch a bunch, and it hadn't been the case for me.
It's just been weird, man. I feel like they've been really slowly transitioning from that pre-spawn to post. You got, I fish a lot down in Alabama, and so you come back up here and it's totally different. But they're still fishing all 3 phases in everywhere that I go now. So I just think, with the weird weather, I think the transition still happens, but it takes longer. So they can be harder to catch because it's not like, oh, now they're on the bank getting ready to spawn. It's like, there's one wave here, one wave there, then they spawn, then they leave. So there's post-spawn fish. There's some still in bed. It's sort of weird. And, the water temps are still weird too. So just been an interesting spring, I think. Fishing-wise, how has it been for you? I know you said it's been a little tough some places, but can you talk about some of your recent trips?
Yeah, just most recently, I think you saw where I did a video about fishing out at Tim's Ford. Fished in a big tournament out there, $100 entry fee, 190 plus boats. You can win $5,000, win some big bass. And, they have big bass that you go in at 11 o'clock, big bass you can win at the end of the day, and a big smallmouth. And so, that day was just super windy. And I felt like with my strategy on that one was just throwing big baits because I really wanted to catch that big bite. And so I kind of go back and forth and on my strategy, like, man, I should have just tried to catch a limit. But I knew if I caught a limit and I caught 12 to 16 pounds, 22nd place or 21st place would have got same amount of money as 192nd, And so I took the gamble and threw big baits, try to get that big bite. And, my brother was only able to get one smallmouth in. It was just a little over 19 inches. And so, part of me wishes I tried to catch some other fish, but at the end of the day, I didn't have anything to lose, right? It's kind of like the classic. It's not like, hey, if I finish really bad, I'm not going to get any points, so I gambled and it didn't work out for me this time.
I mean, that's the beauty of fishing a single tournament, basically jackpotting, is you can just go in and do whatever you want. You're not worried about points. You're not worried about, what am I doing next? How am I in the standings? You just go out and have fun. So did you have an enjoyable day at least? I mean, I know the wind was pretty terrible, but did you have fun?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the competition aspect of it, just being out there was fun. And it's amazing. I don't fish many tournaments, and, I have preconceived, I went and practiced and I had a lot of fun practicing. And I was running to a waypoint, but so caught up in the moment of getting to that waypoint and not trying to get run over. I mean, you know what it's like when you're all launching. And so, I'm like following the boat. I'm like, oh crap, I'm like getting shallow. I'm like, I don't want to go over there. I cut my boat out to the right. And next thing you know, like another boat goes flying past me. So I get over and then like I'm bouncing up on his waves. And then another boat comes flying to me to the left. I'm like, crap. And then like, so my next 5 minutes was like, all right, let's just try not to get run over. And then like next thing I know, I'm like, crap, I went too far up the river. Like I missed my waypoint, and now I got 160 other boats behind me. So I'm not going to make that run back at the moment. And so that's how my day started. And then even prior to that, I have live scope, but I don't think you've been on the boat with me since. I don't think I even told you that I got 360 now.
Oh, nice.
30 minutes prior to like launching, I had problems with my live scope. So I'm like, I can't see anything in front of me, and I don't have a depth and contours. So I was a little nervous about that. So between like not having live scope and then running past my waypoint, my first hour of fishing the tournament was a little rough, but I got it all squared away.
So speaking of mechanical and boat problems, we're going to bring in Backdraft here. What's going on, man? You know a little bit of something about mechanical problems lately.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, so Johnny and I have been talking about kind of the last few weeks of fishing. It's been a while since we did one of these. So you've competed in 2 BFLs, right? Or 3?
Yep. Well, I guess technically 3.
Yeah, because you did Mountain Division.
Did a Mountain Division as a co-angler.
Cool. So tell us, obviously, some of you guys know Backdraft, but man, you've been putting out some videos lately. I'm happy to see that. Hopefully it's been a good experience for you getting those out there, but kind of recap those for those who haven't seen your videos yet.
Well, so at the Dale Hall one, practice went really well. And then tournament day, I drew Nicole Abrams. I don't know if you guys know her or not. She was fun, man. She was a hoot to have in the boat, but yeah, we got out there fishing along. Boat wouldn't start. Had to leave it idling for a little bit. Tried on the app to get it started. It was dead, dead all day. And we finally met up with somebody, gave me a jump box, and I caught 4, she caught 3, but I don't know, it just kind of got me off my game all day, distracted me,
Yeah, I don't know how many guys here follow my channel, but we had some trolling motor problems down at Eufaula, and basically had to stick in one spot all day because we'd crank up the motor, move around, reposition, cast out, wait until the wind blew us off it, fire the motor back up, move back over, put your PFD back on. I mean, it's a mess, man. It makes fishing totally a different game.
Oh yeah,
it happens. Like it's part of, if you fish tournaments for any amount of time, you end up having problems at some point. So it can be a good test for your mental fortitude, for your mental toughness. Because it is like Johnny, like you just said, man, you blow past your first waypoint and then you're all blown out from your plan. You don't know what to do next. I mean, it can be really frustrating. So, so Johnny, you've been fishing a little bit. Brandon, you've been fishing a little bit. As of me, since the last time we did a live, I think I've had 3 tournaments or 4 tournaments. I had a top 10 at Gunnersville in a BFL. I finished like 36th that Eufaula with 1 fish. That was tough. Had a 28th at Gunnersville, and then I won my club tournament on the Lay Lake last week. So I've had quite an eventful month. I also went out of town for a little bit and didn't get to fish at all for like 10 days, which is the longest I've been without fishing in like years. So that happened, but it's been a crazy month. It's been a really good month for me. I was going to talk about the baits that have done really well for me this year. And I'm not sure how much if you guys have anything laying around. Johnny, you might. I'm not sure. Brandon, you probably don't since you're at work. But I was going to just talk about briefly the baits that I've been doing well on this year as the year's gone on. So started the year out at Smith Lake in first Choo Choo Division BFL. I ended up in 24th place, and I caught the big fish on the co-angler side, which was a 414. Caught one of my fish, the big fish. I caught it on the DT6 Demon. You guys probably saw the video, but man, this has been a key player. It's been good to me, earned me a lot of money this year. And then you guys know I love throwing the shaky head. This is the Owner Ultra Head 1/8 ounce, and it is fantastic. I can't tell you guys how much I have enjoyed throwing this thing. My uncle's here in the chat, Lee, saying a buddy fished Gunnersville last week and really caught them using a swim jig and 2 to 3 water right up on the bank. That bite is something else, man. I know you guys have both heard me talk about the swim jig, but it is an awesome way to catch them. Okay, so we switched over to the first Bass Nation tournament, which was on Lake Martin, clear, rocky again, kind of similar to Smith Lake. And I caught the majority of my fish on this little baby square bill here, the OG Rocco. But you guys may be seeing a theme here, a little bit of orange, a little bit of red early in the spring. Did really well. I also caught a couple of fish on a shaky head at that tournament, the same thing. And at Gunnersville, that top 10 I got was on my favorite lipless in the world, but yeah, one knocker. This is the Sunrise Crawl color, and if you're ever out on Gunnersville this time of year and you're not throwing this bait, I don't know. I'd pick it up, pick a couple up, and toss it out. You guys can see it has been chewed, it has been thrown, it has been abused. It carried and produced for me for 2 events. So not just early on in the year, but I was at Gunnersville a month apart and caught all my fish on this exact bait. So it has some staying power. And then this past weekend, man, I've got the video coming out probably tomorrow, but I caught over 10 pounds on 3 fish, which is that's a decent weight for 3 fish. I had a 480, which was the big fish for the year and big fish for the tournament as well. And one of those fish I caught on a Texas rig, just flipping a speed crawl in some grass. That was the first fish of the day. And then the other 2 caught on the buzzbait here, the black Jacob Wheeler finesse buzzbait. I threw it just as is, man. I know that the buzzbait purists aren't going to like that, but I threw it without a trailer. I threw it with the skirt on, just straight out of the box, and it caught me 2 good fish. So just wanted to run through the baits I've been using lately. I also caught a 5-pounder on that buzzbait last night at the pond, so that was it is such a fun bite, man.
Yeah, to me that buzzbait bite's got to be tough, right? Just boom, 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 and then boom, and then just not be able to set the hook. You just kind of have to wait on it.
Oh no, you don't have to wait.
Oh yeah.
I don't wait. I mean, it's not like a frog where you got to let them really get it. Most of the time when they hit it, you can just jack them. At least in my experience. I mean, that's the last 3 fish I've caught on it. You just absolutely jack them once they hit it, and it's fun because it's a single hook, so it's not like a spook where you're worried about ripping out of their mouth. If they get it, you can stick them pretty good.
Gotcha. And what rod and line you throwing on that on?
For the buzzbait, throw a 7.2 medium heavy with 40-pound braid and a 7.2 to 1 gear ratio. It's kind of a very versatile. I can speed it up if I need to, depending on the buzzbait I'm using. But I typically like a lighter buzzbait. I just happened to have this thing tied on and threw it out there, and man, the footage is awesome. I got both of the blowups, and it's pretty good footage. I'm excited for you guys to see it.
Yeah. And I know you showed your the owner hook on that, but what worm are you throwing on it?
I don't have one here, but I prefer the Zoom finesse worm. It's like a 4-inch finesse worm. It's very similar to the trick worm, but it's just a smaller version. And if it's clear water, I throw Green Pumpkin Magic, and I dip the tail chartreuse. If it's muddy water, I'll throw Junebug, and I also dip the tail then. I have really good luck on that. I went to another lake on this past Sunday, Lake Purdy down in Birmingham, and I think I caught 25 fish, and I caught 20 of them on the shaky head. So it's a producer for sure.
Nice. I want to say Missile Bait's got a smaller finesse worm. It was really
that little baby magic worm or something, I think it's called.
Yeah, and I tried to buy some on Omnia's website, and of course they're all sold out. You're always kind of late on those.
Well, speaking of Omnia, Johnny, why don't you tell the good people about what you have going on with them?
Yeah, so I recently signed up for their ambassador program where I write fishing reports and put together videos. And, through that, I'm provided with affiliate links. So part of the affiliate program. So if you are watching and want to support my channel, the best way to do that is watching the videos and using the affiliate links that I have in the YouTube channel. But that's one of the things too. I've been meaning to get with you on, Alex. Like I said, we hadn't been chatting as much, but I'm pretty sure I can get you on that program too, man. It seem like they're really good guys over there. Because one of the things I really like on their website is, when I was preparing for my Tim's Ford Lake, it actually had water temperature on there, so I can see what the water temperature was at the various parts of the lake, whether it's by the dam or up one of those rivers or closer to the launch. And so I feel like understanding water temperature really helps you with the decision making process and kind of gives you a little bit of confidence of, do I want to make a long run or do I want to stay around here? And
so how accurate did you find that stuff to be? Because I know I've heard, the BTO show they did most recently was really cool, talking about all the satellite imagery and how they kind of collect that data. How close was it to reality?
I mean, I felt like it was like 2 to 3 degrees off, if it said 64, I went up there, it was 62. And I feel like, and it was pretty consistent, right? So it wasn't just 2 degrees off, by the dam or up a river or up this creek arm. If it was 2 degrees off over there, it'd be 2 degrees off somewhere else. And so I just made the adjustment. Okay, it's reading 2 degrees higher, so I can kind of adjust accordingly. But it's really neat, to kind of see that, because it's part of my practice is I was just running up and down, different creek arms to see water temperature and comparing it.
So I think it'd be interesting to sort of document maybe, okay, if you have a cold night and it gets into the 30s, how much does that actually affect the water temperature? You know what I mean? Like you could go in and look the day of or during the afternoon when it's actually the warmest point, and then if there's a cold front overnight, you could go look the day after and see if there are any changes being reported, and just kind of get it. Because, we talk about, cold front's coming in, warm front's coming in, it's going to blow up whatever, it's going to do whatever to the water. You could actually record that and see if it's consistent depending on the season and, how variable that water temperature is. So that's really cool, man. Glad to see you working with them there. And Omnia is something that kind of started more up north, but they're kind of making their way down south, and it's cool to see them start to work with people here locally.
Yeah, man.
And speaking of working with people locally, Backdraft and Brandon and I are still working on our little deal here. Do we have a code yet generated?
It will be, once it's generated, it'll be AR10.
Okay, cool. So you guys can use
all cap, no dashes, just AR10.
So if you don't know, I'm part of Backdraft's pro staff here, and like he just said, you can use code AR10, capital AR10, to get 10% off on the website. Go support a local business. Go support the people who support me. He's the first person who's given me any sort of partnership or ambassadorship, so very grateful for that. And I don't work with anybody who I don't know or trust or actually use their stuff. So we're working on.
Should have the rest of that stuff up here in the next couple of weeks. I just been busy with tournaments and whatever. Yeah. But you're talking about buzz baits. We got some slick buzz baits. It's got the drop down head design and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to be selling them in 2-packs without skirts. That way you can throw your favorite trailers on them. Nice. Because I do that a lot. I'll throw like a Torrent Outdoors, like what's it called, a timber crawl.
Yeah,
I love throwing a timber crawl on the back of a buzz bait. A lot of action. So, and then of course, swim jigs. I've got a full line of swim jigs coming out that are going to be awesome.
You've got some awesome colors too. That coleslaw color is going to be great for that kind of that old hickory stained water, where it's not quite stained, but it's not quite clear either. That coleslaw just stands out just a little bit to make it nice and visible. So.
Yeah, a little more subtle than like a chartreuse and white. It's not as in your face. It's a little more subtle.
I like it, man. I like it. So, Johnny, we're talking about buzz baits and swim jigs, and I feel like you're not into those as much. You got any thoughts here?
Dude, I had a buzz bait tied on for that Tim's Ford tournament, but I didn't feel like the conditions was right to throw it. Swim jigs, I feel like it's more of a grass type deal, and the closest lake to us for that is Old Hickory, and haven't a chance to go out there just yet. But hey, man, watching Carl Jobson with that swim jig earlier in the class or whatnot, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, man. One thing about a swim jig for a co-angler specifically is it's not just a grass jig. It's not just something you can flip around grass. You can use it for just a regular flipping jig as well, and it'll come in and out of cover. One thing I really like doing with it is flipping into laydowns with it, because it's got that weed guard and it's got the head shape that kind of is tapered. It'll slide in and out of almost anything easier than some of the flipping jigs out there. Now, it's got that softer weed guard, so if you run it up against something and like pop it, it may get hung up, and you may be dealing with that. But as a co-angler, if you only want to have one jig tied on, a swim jig is a really good choice because you can do a lot of things with it.
I've got another jig coming out too. It's going to be called the Structure Fire. So it's kind of a cross between an Arky and a swim jig. It's got that tapered head design, and it's meant to go in heavy cover like that. So that's going to be a really awesome one too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we got Mark saying use swim jig during shad spawn. The other nice thing about it, the swim jig, is you can skip it, and it's really good because you can swim it just right under the surface and get that kind of bait fish action. And you don't have to do a chatterbait where it could get hung up easier. You don't have an exposed hook on there. At swim jig, you can also fish crazy shallow. I don't think people understand just how shallow you can get it and kind of float that thing almost like a spinnerbait. You use like a quarter ounce or a 3/8. You can get into really shallow water and flip it around stuff, and it can be really useful.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to give out the shout out to Mark too. I think Mark is a pro staff for Picasso, I think.
Oh,
and,
nice.
I think they make some nice tungsten type stuff. And Mark's really turned me on to like tungsten jigs because it's smaller profile. And so I just want to give out the shout out to Picasso.
I think Picasso is the one that makes the it's a football jig. It's like the gridiron football jig, I think it's called, or something like that. Maybe Mark will know, but that's my favorite for dragging out on like road beds and really heavy rock. I forget what it's called. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
And while you look for that, I want to address Steve's comment there talking about Tim's Ford being inconsistent. Part of my practice, Alex, I found like fish, and they were dude. I was like trying to test out the depth of my crankbait just to see how far it would dive, and like I was catching fish. I wasn't even trying to catch them, man. And so I'm like, dude, we got to leave this area because like I can't even like just practice like with my bait here because the fish are just on them. And that's that first waypoint that I went past by, man. So I was so disappointed. And then again, I had to wait like a good 45 minutes, an hour to run back to fish it. And of course, and you know how fast I fish. I spent like a good solid 2-3 hours in that same cove where I caught those fish and couldn't get anything to bite the next day. So
welcome to the world of tournaments, man. It is it is something else, that is for sure. So I found that football jig that I was talking about, and yes, Mark is right. It is the fantasy football jig is what it's called. And the head is unique. It's got it's a tungsten head. It's not very zoomed in there. Hopefully you guys can kind of see the texture that's on this jig. If you look on the bottom of the head there, it's got these little dimples in it, and that really prevents that paint from like chipping off and breaking off. But I use this thing on Gunnersville and on any offshore ledge fishing, road bed fishing, anything like that. It works really well. Give you guys a little juice there. But I'm also really excited for that Backdraft one to come out. We'll definitely be throwing that this summer as we get into the summer fishing. But hopefully that's not for a while because right now the fish are just straight biting. I don't know about y'all, what your experience has been, but they're just biting right now, man.
I mean, on Dale Hollow, I used 2 lures. I used a wobble head and I used a football jig. That's what I caught all my fish on.
What are you? Chad? Brennan.
I used a 3/8 and I used a wide variety of Strike King soft plastics. Used a Rage Tail, Rage Bug, the Space Monkey or whatever they call it, just whatever I had at hand really. And the blue crawl got bit the most.
Nice.
Do you think that was because a little bit water clarity was a little not as clear, and that's why that blue worked better?
I can't say for sure. They bit green pumpkin. They bit like a Bama crawl that had the orange in it. And we dipped the tails. We didn't dip the tails. They were still biting it. I mean, just a slow drag across the bottom, counting rocks. Pretty much is how we caught them.
I think the fish were just biting. They've just been biting lately, at least around here. Down down in Birmingham, I caught fish like 5 different ways on Sunday. I mean, we started out fishing topwater, caught them that way. We switched over to a crankbait for a little bit. We caught them that way. Switched over to a shaky head, caught them that way. Flipped a jig up in a laydown and caught a 3-pound spot. That was awesome. I mean, they're just biting, man. It's been a good time of year.
I mean, now Saturday on Dale Hollow when I was a co-angler, I threw everything in the tackle box at him. I caught 2 shorts, but I couldn't get bit on nothing. It was stupid windy that day.
Yeah. Did you have any safety concerns that day? I heard some guys kind of talking. They were surprised you guys even got to fish.
I'll be honest. I do think they should have postponed it. So they had a kayaker drowned.
Yeah, I saw that.
And on Sunday we were fishing probably 100 yards from where they found him.
Wow.
I mean, where we were fishing, there was probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 TWRA boats in there. There's a helicopter. I mean, it's all on video. You'll see it on the videos. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect for the dead, but I mean, that was entirely avoidable. He didn't have a life jacket on. Yeah, but yeah, it was definitely dangerous to be out in. I think they should have postponed it, but I know a few guys. One guy broke a graph. A few guys bent their trolling motor shafts, and my boat sat in the slip up at Star Point, and the waves got so bad it actually dipped under the beams of the slip, hit the wood of the beam, messed my wrap all up. Scratched my gel coat up. Yeah, so it was pretty bad.
Days, one of them days.
Yep.
That's
one of them days. Sure enough.
Well, let's. We've been looking back this live show here. Let's look forward a little bit. What do you guys, Johnny? What do you got going on in the next couple of weeks? What are your plans?
Try to catch as many fish as I can and some big ones, catch them on some top water, but I don't have anything specifically. I do want to take some more trips outside of our close little circle here. Maybe hit up Pickwick again and maybe hit up some other TVA chains. I went to and fished Chick probably a few weeks back now and didn't have much luck there, but maybe hit up some smaller lakes like that one that you have in Alabama. I think that one you can just kind of rent the boat there or whatnot, but just see some different places.
Yeah, man. Got Mike in here saying, let's see, the cold front killed the fishing last Saturday. Great time of the year to fish, but the weather conditions can change. They certainly can. I can tell you guys my experience on Saturday, even though I won that tournament, my day was over at 8:15 because we had a line of storms coming through. It poured rain for about 30 minutes. I caught my first fish right when that rain ended. I caught my other 2 fish within 30 minutes of that. And once the clouds were gone and the wind kicked up, it was tough. And everybody that I talked to in the club said that. So what Mike said is definitely true, that the changing weather can just totally kill a day. I mean, it was amazing.
So what's your tactic for that, Alex? Like, did you slow down and like drug baits, or did you just fish slower, or what kind of adjustment did you make with that?
Well, I already had my limit, so at that point, it's not a great answer, I don't think necessarily, but we stayed in the area because we knew we were around quality. When you catch fish like that so quick back to back, there was definitely like a bite window happening, but when you were around fish of that quality, we definitely slowed down. We picked every piece of cover apart, every patch of grass, every dock. We fished shaky heads a lot, and we slowed down a good bit. And once our planning kind of fell apart in that creek, it was like, okay, we'll go jump and try other stuff. But the wind had gotten so bad at that point that bite was pretty much over. Steve here asking you a question. Were you fishing the Thames Ford Classic? I think you were, right?
Yeah, man, it's a yearly tournament, Alex. We got to get you on it next year if you're not fishing a tournament. The guys out there did a really good job running the tournament. 192 boats, and you know how I am about like backing in and like getting out there and whatnot. But they did a great job getting everybody in the water and off the water. But man, trying to get that boat in with the winds and the choppiness was a little challenging.
It can be, man. Brandon, how was the put in and takeout situation at Dale Hollow this year?
I wouldn't know because every year we go to Dale Hollow, I stay at Star Point and I get a boat slip.
Nice.
Yep.
That's the way to do it.
But you know how the ramps are there, especially those two in the back there, really, really shallow. You got to put your truck halfway in the water before you get the boat off, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just eliminate that problem and just go ahead and stay there.
That's a good idea. It's probably the best way to do it. I don't think they have anything like that on Tim's Ford, but yeah, I mean, if I'm available next year, then definitely. It's a busy time of year though. Brandon, what do you have coming up in the next 2 weeks?
I'm gonna try to fish here locally, which I got out on Old Hickory the other day testing out my new battery, which that's all it was. It was just that cranking battery was dead, and one of the local parts stores told me it was good, so that left me chasing other stuff, but it just turned out to be bad. But I went out there and tested it out, caught a couple fish, nothing. I mean, little bitty guys, but I'm gonna try to get out on Priest. I think they're holding water now. I think the water's starting to come back up a little bit. Yeah, right. And then, of course, I got Center Hill here at the end of the month. So that's what I got going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So Center Hill is April 29th, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to go up on the 27th. And definitely not putting in at Raglan Bottom. I hate putting in there. It's awful. I think we're going to rent a place that's just about 10 minutes from the ramp by boat, or we'll put in a Sligo and just drive over. Anything I can do to avoid that, Raglan Bottom, man, it's just a cluster every time.
I bet.
Is it just like the small parking lot or something like that? Because I'm pretty sure I went to launch with Raglan when I fished with Mark out there, and it didn't seem like it was that bad. But maybe when there's 100+ boats out there, it's not as smooth.
Yeah, when you get 100+ boats plus 150 co-anglers, it's just not set up to handle that many people.
I wonder if that's why they don't go there very often.
Yeah. I wish they hadn't gone there this year. I wish they had just gone to Priest this year. But I know when I think Alan Gray kind of explained that whole situation when he was on Jim's podcast or live stream, whatever.
Yeah.
I think he explained why they did that. And I can't remember why. There was some conflict with another tournament series or something like that. So.
Yep, that's what he said. So there was a conflict with some other big tournament that was going to be there when they wanted to be there. And if you guys haven't seen, if anybody watching or y'all haven't seen Big Jim's stream with Alan, he's one of the tournament directors at MLF, and he's the best guy to weigh you in. I promise. He's the best guy to blast you off, best guy to bring you in.
Oh, man.
He's the best.
We had Mike Hale for both days. I think it's Mike Hale.
Yeah.
I like Mike just fine, but man, he just doesn't have the energy that Alan does. I love fishing tournaments with Alan.
He's a unique guy. But he talked about the whole process they have of laying out. I think they lay out like every event and every schedule on a big like whiteboard, or maybe it's a bunch of placards. I don't remember exactly. But to get all that stuff lined up, it's got to be a nightmare to get all those tournaments lined up.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. So.
And yeah, Mark, you're right. Raglan is a nightmare.
So
does that mean even once you launch, there's nowhere to go? I mean, there's no dock, or there's like one dock. There's one courtesy dock, and it's all rocks. It's just a pain down there.
Well, that's the one that I wanted. I thought about fishing in the Music City division just because I'd like to get out there on the lake. But I will be out of town that weekend, so not going to happen then. But as far as it goes for me, it's been a busy couple of weeks. It's going to be a busy more couple of weeks. I've got fishing Old Hickory this weekend with the Fishers of Men tournament series with my buddy Kevin. So I think that'll be fun. I've never really been there this time of year, so maybe it will be kind to me for once. We'll have to see. Old Hickory sort of had my number the past few times I fished tournaments out there, but we'll change it at some point. I know that.
I'm looking forward to the June tournament.
Oh, see, that's the one I wanted to avoid because I'm not about
I'll go offshore on that one.
Nice.
I mean, like if there's a breath of wind or they're pulling any current, I'll go offshore on that one. It's always the fall one that gets me.
Fall can be tough, but weekend after that. So next weekend I'm on Old Hickory, or this coming weekend on Old Hickory. Weekend after that I'm back on Lay. We've got the Alabama Bass Nation is out there. I think we're going to do really well in that one. My partner knows that lake very well. I know that lake very well. I think it's going to be some really good footage. I have high confidence in that one. I think it's going to be fun. Spotted bass and largemouth both play on that place. I mean, my three bass, my 10, 7 was all largemouth. And we had a bunch of guys with spots. We had one guy catch a 3.99 spot. I had 480 largemouth. So it's a pretty healthy fishery. It can be hard at times, but really looking forward to that one. And that's kind of it for a while for tournaments for me. I've got a little bit of a break until May. Next one will be the Choo Choo division on Pickwick, but we got a chat I got to address here. Steve's seeing a couple of marinas on Tim's that have cabin type places, so that's good to know if you ever want to go fish on Tim's Ford. So that place is known for smallmouth, from what I understand. Johnny, you caught one nice smallmouth, and then what else did you catch out there?
I caught a hybrid, like a 5-pound hybrid during the tournament, and thought I caught a big old bass, and thing was just kept on digging. It came up, and so that was a little disappointing. Let's see what else. I mean, just random species, not enough fish. But I want to go back to the Lay Lake. What is it, like a 4 or 6 hour drive to there? Is it
I'm trying to think, because it's about 3 hours to Birmingham, and it's another 45 minutes from there. So it's close to 4 hours, depending on where you want to put in, because that lake is like 60 miles long, north to south. So it could be as short as like 3 hours. It could be as long as 4, depending on where you want to put in.
Maybe that'd be like a good weekend stay type deal, you know?
It certainly could be. Yeah. There's the cool thing about Lay is there's any type of structure or situation you want to fish, Lay has it. So they've got the dams, they've got real clear water down towards the lower dam. They've got stained water up in the creeks on the north end. There's a main river. There are islands and points. There's deep rock. There's shallow rock. There's laydowns. There's almost anything you can think of. Lay Lake has it. So it would be a good, a little bit of a drive, maybe just a bit further than Guntersville is how, guys in Middle Tennessee can think of it. We got Craig here in the chat, man. Good to see you, dude. Trying to decide whether to fish, where to fish Friday. Usually fish Percy Priest, thinking of trying Guntersville, Dale Hollow, Center Hill, or Old Hickory. If y'all had
one day, I was
gonna say, if you had one day to fish, where would you go?
I'd go Dale Hollow.
Because they bite.
They bite, and they're aggressive right now, and they're catching good, like, size numbers, 3.5 average. I mean, you'll get a few small ones, but we were catching some good ones.
Johnny, where would you go if you had one day between those options?
Probably Center Hill. I really like the way that lake sets up, and it's probably not as busy as it will be this summer. And so I think there's some big ones out there in Center Hill.
So does Center Hill get a bunch of non-fishing traffic in the summer? I feel like it gets a lot of pleasure boaters.
Yeah, maybe Mark can confirm for me too, but I feel like there's a lot of marinas out there, which means a lot of wake boats and jet skis and all other good stuff. So
and we got Bible Belt back in the chat, man. Welcome back.
Yeah.
If I was choosing where to go this weekend, I'd probably go back to Guntersville, because that place just has my heart right now. It's been so good to me this year. And TVA, man, they're just biting out there. It's been really good. Taking consistently over 20 pounds to win lately, and I think that'll be the case probably until the fall. Just a really good population of fish there right now. But if you can get out and fish any day, you may as well. Doesn't matter what lake you choose at this point. Just go out there and try to get them.
Just go out there and get them. Which I will say, I'm not as intimidated about Center Hill as I was, because I know April 29th it's going to be a shallow bite.
Yeah. That's the reason I wanted to go. I feel like you could catch them doing whatever you want, really.
I'll be chucking a swim bait up in the treetops and a Texas rig, probably.
Nice. We got Mark saying during the summer go at night on Center Hill. Way too many wake boats. Yeah, I could totally see that. You got a lot of people who night fish on. I was going to say you got a lot of people who night fish on Dale Hollow in the summer as well.
Yeah.
I've not done a whole lot of night fishing, but it can be fun. We're reaching the 10-minute mark here, the 10-minute warning for the end of the show. So if anybody in the chat, first of all, thank you guys for joining. We got a lot of viewers, man. We got 12 people in here. That's a lot for me, so I appreciate you guys being here. But if you have questions or comments, let us know. Drop stuff in the chat. If you get anything you want us to talk about. But boys, anything else you wanna say in the last 10 minutes here?
I got a video coming out tomorrow. That's the Old Hickory video, and then I'll have at least 3 or 4 coming out of Dale Hollow.
Awesome.
So I will say that it's really picked up. I've got over 800 views on that tournament video, and that's huge for me.
Yeah.
A guy with less than 40 subscribers starting to get numbers like that. I feel like I'm kind of doing something right now. So,
awesome. John, do you feel like your channel's been growing a lot recently, man? Where are you at on the subscribers and all? How's your growth been?
Yeah, I'm just slowly picking up subscribers here and there. I'm just a little over 800. I think I need to finish my last 2 videos from the Tim's Ford tournament. If you haven't seen that already, I'm doing a 4-part video series on my Tim's Ford tournament. Need to do my practice video. I got about half of it done. Need to shoot the talking head on it and then do the actual final day tournament. So I got that coming. But in regards to like videos, man, it's pretty cool. Melinda, my wife, just picked up started a new job probably 2 months now. And she says some of the guys there at work have seen my videos. So it's always kind of cool. When you run across just random people watching your videos. I told them about the stream tonight. I'm not sure if they're on. I haven't seen them chime in, but it's really neat to, chat with other people that have, watch your content. So.
That's awesome, man. I had 5 or 6 guys on my latest Gunnersville video where I got my boater's truck stuck. I had several guys jump on and say, "Oh, I saw that in the parking lot. Oh, I'm the guy who pulled that thing out." No, it was cool to see those guys on there. Had several of my videos do really well recently. My top 10 on Gunnersville has like over 5,000 views, which is crazy for my channel. I mean, I get, 1.5 is good for a good tournament video, but to get over 5 is pretty awesome. So I appreciate everyone for watching that, and the growth has been good. Awesome. I mean, this is how it should work, right? If you do well in a tournament, you should have good growth, right? That's how it should work. I feel like that's not always the case. Like there's different approaches as far as the growth goes, but I'm really happy with that. So it's been a good month.
Yeah, I wonder how Chad's doing on his channel. I wonder if his recent win picked him up a bunch of subscribers. And I really should fish more tournaments. I want my channel to grow because it sounds like y'all are getting some really good traction with that. But man, such a long day. I was beat, dude. I know we hadn't got into this, and maybe I'll just touch on it for a few moments here. But
yeah, go ahead.
I actually haven't watched any fishing videos since that fishing tournament on Saturday, and here we're on Wednesday. And so, if you don't know me, I wake up, listen to fishing videos. I drive to work, listen to podcasts. I fall asleep, listen to fishing videos. But I just feel like everybody's saying the same doggone thing, and then like everybody, in the videos, you show all the good stuff, and everybody's catching them. And so I was like, man, I'm just tired of hearing about this shallow bite, this crankbait bite, this red lure. They should be spawning, blah blah blah. And so I'm like, I'm just going to go out there and try to figure it out my own. I'm not saying I know all this stuff, but I don't know. So that's kind of why I haven't been watching any fishing videos, because I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been catching them. And it's a little discouraging when you open up social media and everybody's catching 5+ pounders, so.
And I think the realities of tournament fishing are hard to, it's hard to tell that story, because you always want to get up or you always want to get out there and show the great stuff and show you crushing them. But the reality is most of the time you don't. Like I always talk about financially, if you break even on your tournament season, dude, you crushed it. If you are able to pay your entry fees, you did really well. And that's just not the case most of the time. So the realities of fishing and tournament fishing are something that, we run into all the time. But I will throw this banner up here, make sure everybody can follow. Steve is in the chat asking where to follow at Fishing with the K's on YouTube, and then obviously me and Backdraft as well. But we got Kyle here jumping in the last couple minutes here. But
see, Kyle follows me. I've seen him on there. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah. Kyle is trying to get into filming as well. I know he's interacted with me and Johnny a little bit, but hoping to.
You know what Johnny was saying though. Well. What Johnny was saying, everybody shows the good stuff. Well, I'm fixing to put up a practice video and a day one tournament video as a co-angler where I did not do well. But I believe in showing my failures along with my successes. And I think I even say that at some point, because this is real fishing. We're not the Guggen guys out there, just crushing them every time. But and I believe that I think a lot of people positively identify with that. Well, I mean, like these guys have bad days too,
Yeah, they do. And, I think the point of my channel, the whole time I've had has just been to tell the story. So whether the story is good or bad, whether I zero or have an awesome day, I'm always going to put it out there. If I don't have technical difficulties, I'm always going to put it out there. I'm going to try to just tell the story, whether it's a great day or a horrible one. At least I'll have it out there. That's always the point for me. So,
I think in the meantime, between tournaments, I may jump in that choo-choo division up at Pickwick because I love Pickwick. So I may jump in that one as a co-angler.
I'll be there, man. You get to fish against me. Good luck.
I know you're crushing them this year.
That'll be interesting right there.
I'm scared.
Oh, don't be scared. No, man. It has been a really good year, though. I'm not gonna lie. My reasoning for jumping to the choo-choo division was to sort of change the level of competition I'm fishing against, because it's one of the most competitive divisions in the whole country. Just to see, okay, if I go against these guys, if I'm around these fish, if I'm with, really, really good boaters with good populations of fish, what could happen? And it's been really affirming to have some success. I owe a lot of it to the boaters, but, it's been a good year. And part of that is me, part of that's the boaters, part of that is the lakes. It just has culminated in a really fun, really good year of fishing. So,
it's been quite the change jumping from co-angler and going to the boater side. Just the level of competition over there is just so much greater. And I feel like I'm holding my own. I'm 56th in points right now. I want to make the regional, obviously, but one tournament, that could change everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like I should have caught 5 at the first Dale Hollow, and I did catch 5 at the second Dale Hollow. So, that was really, that was good for me. It gave me a confidence boost that I was able to go out there and find fish. So
absolutely. Yeah. We got Kyle in here. Might hop into LBN one, rip up Barren River, so one between. So being able to jump between divisions is something that's really cool. I did that last year fishing choo-choo in Music City. I'm only really fishing choo-choo this year just because of scheduling. But it is really cool just having the chance to jump in and fish somewhere you've never fished before. That's a cool thing about the BFLs.
Somebody told me Barren River is really, they're tearing them up on Barren River right now.
I've heard good things about that as well.
I think it was Rocky Williams that told me that, matter of fact.
Okay. Yeah, another local
he said
guy.
If you're gonna fish one, go up there and fish Barren River. That's the one to do it right there. But I don't know. I've never fished Barren River, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, nor have I. I've definitely heard of it. But as we near the last couple minutes in the show here, you guys, thanks for joining. If you've got anything else for us, drop it in the chat. We'll be wrapping up here soon. So if you want us to talk anything else, just let us know. But Johnny, before we go, how do we support you on Omnia Fishing? Remind us again.
Yeah, if you just check out on my YouTube channel, in the video descriptions, I've linked some of the baits and lures that I've used. So you can go out there, and if you're interested in buying some tackle, go out there. Or if not, I can try to give you like a homepage link. I'm still kind of new to it. I've been linking everything to rods, reels, lines, and all the good stuff. But you can check that out on my YouTube channel at Fishing with the Case. So
yeah, go follow Johnny, obviously. Brandon, what's the best way to support you?
So right now, I'm working on getting everything up on the website and getting my inventory back up. Bible Belt's on here, so he's got a code Bible Belt 10. Yours is AR 10. So once everything is up, you guys can use those codes. There's no limit to how many times you can use them. You'll get 10% off your entire order. That's the biggest way right now is just buy lures.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And if you're here and aren't subscribed to any of us, obviously head over to the channels. Like it boggles my mind that I can get 5,000 views on a video and only gain like 40 subscribers. It's kind of crazy. Like all it is one button, man. Just click it. But in all seriousness, thank you guys for watching today. It's been a fun show here. We've had a really good chat, so I appreciate you guys jumping in.
Appreciate it, guys.
We will see you next week. Anything else to add?
No, thanks for hosting, Alex.
All right, boys. We'll see you next week.
All right, we'll see y'all.